joy, the peace, the patience. You know, all of these characteristics that the Lord wants us to have. His ideals for families. Guidance counselor, a teacher at the Kingston College High School, a mother, a sister, a daughter, my sister-in-law, my beautiful sister-in-law, Nadine Esco. And I invite everyone to tune your hearts and your minds heavenward firstly for her as she presents to us this afternoon. Please give her your undivided attention as she shares with us this evening. Sister Esco, I turn over to you. Before Sister Esco comes up, please forgive me. I forgot to mention that her niece, Lorena, her daughter, is here supporting her as always. So, welcome Lorena again to Waterloo. So, we will just keep them welcomed. That's it.
Okay. afternoon, brethren. Welcome to the afternoon session. We'll be looking at the family. And I want to thank my sister. I leave off the in-law part because she is my sister, for that beautiful song, Happy the Home Where God is There. Now, are you suggesting to me if there's no happiness in the home, does that mean that God is not there? Anybody? You don't have to answer. As we go along, we'll figure some things out. Okay? And today we're going to look at family values. We have realized that certain values are not being upheld because of certain influences and those things, and we're going to explore, we're going to remind ourselves what is a family. Now, interesting enough, brethren, when I was doing the research, I excluded some things. I think my personal bias came in the way because when they were talking about certain types of family, I decided that I will not say it in the house of the Lord. And some of you would know what I'm talking about. So I'll say, you know what, let that stay. I know that my brethren have been reading and they know. But I don't want to come up here and put that out in the atmosphere because it's already there, but I don't want to go there. So we're looking at what is a family. And it talks about a group of people. They're connected by blood, marriage, adoption, or close relations, who provide emotional, social, and economic support to each other. And this includes like parents, children, and other relatives or close friends who live together or maintain close ties. The concept of family varies across cultures, but generally emphasizes care, commitment, and mutual responsibilities. Now, we realize that in the family setting, brethren, all is not well, or it appears as if all is not well. One of the songs that came to me is, "The water is troubled, my friend, step right in." Do you know that song, brethren? You want us to just sing a little part of it? We get a little bit into it. The water is troubled, my friend. Mr. Musician, could you just lead us into that? I don't know the words of it, but that's what came to mind when I thought of the family, that we are troubled. Yeah? Brethren, help me up here now. The water is troubled, my friend. Step right in. All the singers. Come on, we're the singers.
Mr. Musician, you can go down a little fast. The water is troubled, my friend. Step right in. God's almighty power is moving every hour. No longer stand on dry land. The water is troubled, my friend. Step right in.
Responding. Hold on, let's escape. No. Go back. No. Wait. Yeah. I want to know. Types of family. All right, thank you. Technology, huh? All right, so we're looking at types of families. We have the nuclear family, which is traditional in our space, but we don't want to neglect the single parent family. We have to acknowledge them too. We have the type of nuclear family, which consists of two parents and their children living together as a single unit. We also have the extended family, which includes the nuclear family along with other relatives like grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, and often living in nearby or together. And then we have the single parent family. One parent raises the children due to divorce, separation, or absence of the other parent, and I would add, or by death. All right? And we have the blended family formed when two separate families merge through marriage, including step-parents and step-siblings. Now, that is the aspect where they were talking about the types of family, and I decided not to include that type of family. Those of you who are reading, you would know what I mean, right? Let's go back. It's not moving. It moved. Hold on. Let's go. Core family values now. Love and affection, unconditional support and care. Where's the love in the family these days? Is there any love still left in the families? Pardon? It's not frozen. All right. Sometimes I wonder what is really going on. Especially, I'm not knocking the nuclear family, but something is so off. And sometimes it's simple things, brethren. Communication problem. All right. Somebody might be having a bad day, and they might just say the wrong word. I don't know, but something is wrong. And let me tell you something, brethren. If we don't go back to the core values of family, we're not gonna have a happy or a better society. It spills over into society. But the thing that I use to remind myself that things might not get better, reason, because we're living the last days. So some of these things are being manifested, before us. But we don't have to fall prey or fall trap because we're children of God. We don't have to fall in that trap. We don't want the Bible to be fulfilled on us, so to speak. So we need to try to do what is right as a family. Sometimes, simple things. Sometimes wives, I'm going to get a little bit, I don't want nobody to take no offense, but I'm going to say a little thing. Sometimes I was a wife before, right? I know what it is to be a wife. And sometimes we give ourselves trouble. Sometimes we give ourselves trouble for true, And it is good when we have a partner that will understand us and say, boy, so and so, and they'll guide us on track. But suppose you have a husband who really, him can't manage and he can't bother with them something there. You know how that will go. It will cause problems. And husbands, given that I know what it is to have a husband to only get trouble too. All right, so it's on both sides sometimes. Now, when the trouble pops up, there should not be any blame. You sit down and you talk and you say, honey, I think we went wrong here and we need to see how best we can fix it. Sometimes, most times, the women are the one that will keep the malice and them keep it long. Yeah, and them don't talk and these things. I don't remember the husband keeping the malice. But what he'll do, he will provoke the woman. Yeah, sometimes they say things like, somebody is keeping malice and it's not me. And him know him do something wrong, and him say things to draw you out and cause more problems. All right, so we have to be mindful of these things. And folks, we need to have a sense of humor. We don't need to take everything seriously. Because if we do that, you notice how many persons having heart issues now and these things. We have to be lighter about things. Some things we just laugh it off. It's not that you're mocking the person or anything, but we cannot take everything too seriously. The Bible speaks to us, it says, let not your heart be troubled. And let me tell you, my nephew is a perfect example of let not your heart be troubled, because him don't make nothing at all bother him. Absolutely nothing. When we say, CJ, how comes you're not studying? Him know what him do already, so I'm not showing us, and him do him thing. And of course, he's an A student, but he literally lives, let not your heart be troubled. And if some of us could actually go there and listen to what the Bible says, we wouldn't have much problems. But sometimes we're so disobedient, Respect. Respect and valuing each other's opinions and boundaries. All right? And sometimes this is where the challenge comes in now. We lose respect. Sometimes the partner will say, you're all idiot, you're a fool, and they do the name calling. That is not right. And sometimes we do it out of anger, and then we regret saying certain things. Without being a presenter, sometimes I say, him deserve to really call him idiot for true because of what he... But listen, because of the love and because God is supposed to be in us, we should try to shy away from that term as it relates to our partner. Communication, open and honest dialogue. Just level with the person. Tell the person as it is. But guess where the challenge comes in? We have to watch our tone, how we say it. How we say it makes a difference. Because we can say this same thing, but we do it two different ways, and it makes a difference. And they don't feel disrespected. Sharing duties and being accountable. We have to split the work. All right, you do this and you don't say that is the man work, that is the woman work or whatever. We share the duties. And we make an effort and say, while I watch the thing, you hang out. While I do this, you... So you have to have a dialogue. You discuss it, you talk about it. You don't just do that and you do that. So communication is very important. And that's where a number of us are lacking. Trust. Building and maintaining confidence in each other. All right? That's important too. See this thing? All right. I'm going into trouble again. Lorena or Chris, you need to come up here. Okay, Lorena to my rescue. Yeah, because that's giving too much trouble. All right, importance of family values. What do you think are the importance of family values? Think about your values that you have. So I'm going to get you involved now, brethren. What are some of the why is family values important? Anybody? and we have conflict resolution, managing disagreements, and maintaining harmony. Now, this one is a big one. Conflicts, how we manage it and all of that. The hot words that come into play. All right? Now, Elder, tell me one hot word where your wife tell you that it burn you to this day. Brother Kennedy, don't look behind you, you know, it's you me talking. Tell me one hot word where your wife tell you and you remember to this very day. And then Sister Kenny going to do the same thing. Tell me a hot word that your wife tell you.
I can't pick it up now, Sister S.D.A. Can't pick it up now.
All right, listen, Elder Kennedy is snorting and playing it safe. Sister Kennedy, tell me a hot word to this day you remember what your husband tell you, and it burn you to this day, or you remember from time to time. Even though you forgive him, but you remember it.
I can't think of any either, but listen, I want to say something about family value.
Yes.
And this is one of the things that is upheld in my household. Or else there will be no peace.
All right, let's hear it.
There's a general understanding that if there is a disagreement, we talk about it and we settle it.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go to bed with it. I might say something that Calvin is not in agreement with. And he will take it very personally, to the point where he wants to actually keep a malice. But I won't let it happen.
Right.
I would have walked around, I would have pinched him, I would have bite him, I would have slung on him lap, I would do all sort of something until
Right.
he forgives.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying this point, and I consider it very important, and I use it in a lot of settings.
Right.
Sometimes as partners, we have to learn how to be flexible. The Bible tells us not to let the sun go down on our wrath.
Right.
And we have to learn sometimes to hear and don't hear, and feel and behave as if we don't feel. Or else there will be no peace.
Yeah.
We have to learn how to settle grievance and settle it quickly. And don't allow it to be festering like all sore and whatever.
Yeah.
And it goes into months and years and then it can't be healed.
Yeah.
And that is one of the major challenges in marriages. Somebody has to know how to break the divide. Somebody has to know how to be a human and then help to bring the other person along.
Yeah. Well said. I really appreciate that. And we need to learn from that, brethren. We have to learn from that. Yes, I'm seeing a hand there. And you know, when you were talking, I saw this young miss here, her eyes doing something. I don't know what to read of it. I usually can read eyes very well, but this one, it's all over the place and she's doing all sorts of things. So I might have to get to her soon and to ask her to interpret for us what that rolling was all about. But I'll get to her in short order. Yes.
Okay. Some of the challenges that, some families might face in upholding their core value is outside influences. As families, sometimes you may have your way charted, and outside influences, maybe other close family members outside can come in and influence members of your family and cause them to derail and mess up the whole family structure. And it's sad, but a lot of this has taken place too.
It is true. And sometimes, so the same one will say, he fooling, we just did say this and him gonna do it. Things like that. They end up blaming, throwing back the blame. So that is very important. External influences. Yes, Grandma.
Some of the conflict, we have to make everything straight and lay it on the table before you're married. Because I always tell my husband when we were courting that I don't want to marry to a yes man. Everything, yes, yes. To me, I don't know when I'm doing something wrong or if it is right. If it is pleasing to you or if it is not pleasing. Because I remember when Novia was at NCU, she was in a singing group and they were to go to a church in Portland to do some program. So she called and get permission from Daddy, but then she called me last and want me to give permission for her to go. So I asked her where in Portland they're going. She said it's a church to put on AY program. So I said, who is taking the group there? She didn't question that yet. So I said, so you're going for AY program. What time you people supposed to reach back school? They are not coming back until the following day. So I said, no. I want to know if it's the dean or the teacher or whoever is taking you. But then she got upset and she said, Mommy, Daddy tell me say it's okay. I can go. So I said, but I'm telling you that you can't go until I know who is taking you and who will be responsible for the group. I say this to say that sometimes as wife and husband, we have to discuss things together, communicate together before. Because you will find when the children grow up, they cling to one, whether the husband or the wife, because they can hear yes, yes, yes for everything. So we have to be careful.
Yes, that's true. Now, husbands, you see how many questions she get out of the one scenario? She want to know who she going with, when she going, why she going. That time Daddy don't say yes, long time. But the women, we tend to ask a lot of questions. And sometimes the men don't like that too. When them going down the road, him say, I'm going down the road. Who you going with? Somebody down there waiting for you? Why you going? Then after a while, he just said, dear, me not bother going away. You not bother want to go road again because the amount of questions that we going to ask him, might as well him just stay home. And probably call the person and say, listen, I'm not bother coming down there to you, yeah, man, because of the questioning. All right, but it's the mind of the women. It's like we have this sixth sense sometimes. We're not always right, not saying we're always right, but we gone beyond that. It's just like when your husband, you might say, dear, how this dress fit? The husband said, it's okay. And then you go outside and somebody says, sister, what a lovely dress. And they start to describe the red looks good on your, fits your complexion and all these things. And you say, but when me ask my husband, all him says, okay. So why, you know? But in a man's mind, it's just okay. You understand? And we have to learn to accept certain things. Dear says it's okay. If it never okay, we just say, boy, dear, that don't look too good. I mean, I think go and go take it off. But they don't go in much detail as somebody would explain or whatever it is. All right, so all those things we have to take into consideration because they think differently from us. All right? Now, if you ask him about a car, which we have no interest in, him say, listen, when you pour up that is the sister, and it goes into all the details because that's where their interests are. All right, so we have to learn to appreciate them for that and don't hammer them and criticize them and say, you see, all him said the dress okay. But if I'm talk to him, brethren, about the F-150, him tell you how much power it have, the rims on it, the this and that can change and the sound of the muffler, and he goes on and on. But that's their interest or their passion or football, whatever it is, and they'll do that. Brother Saunders, yes, go ahead.
I would like to mention another part of family value is the standard that you set for your family, how you see your family, what in your mind would embarrass your family. Sometimes you go out there and like Taylor, you and I will run the road. There are things that on the road that you say, you might take a chance, but then you think if it backfire, how is it going to reflect on my family? So we have to be careful. So we have to live our lives so we don't bring our family into disrepute. Sometimes you have some nice wife and the husband go out and the foolishness, and people start look at her differently. So we have to be careful how we value our family, the things we do.
Thank you so much, Elder. Listen, that is such an important point. And let me tell you, Brother Saunders, that's it is very rare now in our society. Most times they act first, then they think about the consequences afterwards. And that's if they're caught. All right, so they don't have that particular value to say, listen, I'm putting my family first because I don't want when whatever and so on. So you think about the implication for your family, which is very important. Some persons don't do it any at all. And that is such a selfless thing to do. So you have now made your family a priority that many persons are not doing. And if we were practicing that, the families will be together. I'm telling you, each time your man strays, so you say, no, wifey. Remember, and it straightens you up. But Lord, the devil, in most time it says the devil. Sometimes it's us, yeah? All right, go ahead, sister.
My point is from Brother Taylor mentioned about outside influence.
Yes.
And a lot of time, outside influence really have an impact on the family. Sometimes this is what causes family issue because of third party.
Yes.
What we listen to, what we answer, what we reply to have a lot of impact on the family. Hence, I pick up this attitude whenever family have issue and I have to go to intervene in the issue, is not to really want to hear all of the problems that happen, because this blaming game thing and going around thing don't even make any issue. The main thing for family to understand and realize is that they need to love, respect, and forgive each other and try to find the way how they are going to move forward. And if family don't realize this, then they keep always doing the blaming game and end up children mind go astray, everything happen, and they don't consider the whatever going to happen in. And why, for me, I am very compassionate about family, because sometimes we as family don't realize certain things, especially where children is concerned. I remember for myself, when I was in high school, I remember I was like feeling a bit left out because I'm not seeing my mother and my father together. So as this impact me, I realized that it is a real issue for a lot of persons. And then being in the school system, I realized that most of the children that sometimes look so spaced out and sad, and even some give problem as a result of some little breakage in the home, and it have a big issue. And a lot of times these things come from what they listen to from other persons. So as because maybe at any point in time, all of us might be an outside influence on our family. Because some family might come to us, we might have to listen to them at some point in time, but whenever we influence family, let them have something good to say about us. Let them remember us for at least letting them stay together, putting them together, speak the truth and let it flow.
I agree with you to some extent, yes. Some persons, the truth is, brethren, some people can't stay together. And that's the truth. The reality is some people just cannot stay together. And we have to keep things real. What are you going to sacrifice? Do you sacrifice your peace of mind? Do you sacrifice your sanity? So as an individual, you're in the situation, so you have to know how much you can bear. All right? I'm not going to say you must quick for run and go there and go there, but you have to know your limitation. How much of this can I take? And I'll agree with you. I'm not going to tell somebody to stay or leave. I'll facilitate and listen to them, but I'm not going to say leave your husband or leave your wife, because I don't want at the end of the day them to say, you see the one Nadine, and she tell me, if you leave my husband, and she over there skin her teeth. No, I don't want that. I'm not going to carry that on that weight on my shoulders. But I'm saying, as a person, you don't want, while you're in the relationship, you lose yourself. You cannot afford to lose yourself, so you're going to make you a priority. So that's just an, but that's a valid point you have made there. Okay.
Okay, just a really short point. I wanted to say that I'm in agreement with what Brother Saunders said in terms of in marriage you have to be selfless. I was just thinking about it today. I'm not married, by the way, but I'm just thinking about it today, and I was realizing that marriage is literally the personification of dying to self, because you have to put a lot of you out of the way to ensure that the person, your partner, is actually okay. So that's why I think God married the church, because he literally died for us. But what I really wanted to bring across was one of the problems that we can find in our family is also financial issues. I think a lot of times in marriages, once again, I wouldn't know, but I think in marriages, people, they fight over finances, because when you become one in every way. So that includes your money. And when I was doing my research, I realized that most divorces happen not because of infidelity or abuse, but because of financial issues. So yeah, I'd say that's another really big problem.
Yes, it is. I agree with you 100%, my daughter. Listen, I used to say to my husband, we had a dresser where it was a double dresser. So 2 mirrors, that kind of dresser? And he used to get paid fortnightly. So initially, I wasn't getting no money. And his concept was that I must get no money because I'm working. I said, but that don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. I don't think you should check on my money. You're supposed to provide, and God said, you are the head of the house. And he used to say to me, you always talk about that at your convenience. I said, no, but that's why the Bible says I'm going to say that today, because you are the head of the house. So I say, you make sure, clearly, maybe my tone was wrong. When Friday come, the money is on my side of the dresser. All right? So that may have been, looking back, that may have been a wrong approach. But as somebody did tell him at the time, he said, you just make sure so when Friday come, my money is on the side of the dresser. Of course, I'm eager now for Friday to come, because I want to see. And I go on a peep, and I see a little envelope, and I check it, and I feel happy and nice. But he was of the view that I shouldn't get any money because I'm working. And I'm saying, no, it can't be like that. I need my money to do, and my money wasn't enough. Not that I look at checking his money or anything, but it wasn't enough. And I'm spending the same money in the household. So people have different views and different values. And truth be told, I didn't discuss that before marriage. You see, like how you're supposed to go to counseling and those things. We did about 2 sessions and we feel so we're ready. Because remember now your claim say in love now. You don't really want to hear no story, Pastor. Tell the next thing Pastor go say, don't bother married. And you don't want to hear that. Because you're in love and you feel happy enough. So you try to shy away from that. And say, Pastor, 2 sessions is enough. We're ready. Yeah? And of course, Pastor say, all right, them ready and things like that. But the point I'm making, brethren, these things, we have to discuss them before we get into. All right, we're wiser now. Technology and all these things are about and around. Are about and around, and we can learn from people also. But I'm telling you, brethren, this money thing is a serious problem. All right, while you have some husband, they'll go out and get extra funds and they'll do their thing. All right, and we don't want, as wives, we don't want to burden the